Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome and good morning to all of you. I'm back with the topic transitive and intransitive verb. In the previous part of the lesson, we have learned so far that words that denote an action are known as verbs. They are also known as doing words. A verb is compulsory to make a meaningful sentence. Now we are talking about transitive and intransitive verbs in this video. Now let's learn about transitive verbs. What are they? The puppy kicked the ball under the table. Kicked is verb and the ball is the object, or you can question the verb with what, and the word which will give you the answer is the direct object of the verb. What or whom questions to the verb, and if you get an answer, the verb is transitive. Yes, if you question the verb and you can get the answer, then you can say that the given verb is transitive and it cannot stand alone without an object. It needs some other words which are to be added with the noun to complete its. A verb that takes an object is known as transitive verb. Mark is writing a letter. What is Mark writing? He is writing a letter. So you are getting the answer by questioning by what? So the writing, which is the verb here, is a transitive verb. David is eating a sandwich. What is he eating? He is eating a sandwich. So sandwich is the object because it is giving you the answer of what, and the verb which is eating here is transitive. It needs an object to complete its meaning and it cannot stand alone to give a complete sense. So such kind of verbs are called transitive verbs. Now another example, they played football. What did they play? They played football. So clearly the football is the subject of the verb played, and played is a transitive verb. He loves pies. My sister likes ice cream. Here also pies and ice cream both are object to the verb loves and likes respectively. So both of them are transitive verbs. Now let's come to intransitive verbs. An intransitive verb is a verb that does not take an object to complete its meaning. For example, Kathy ate. Rome ate his breakfast. So both the sentences, in both the sentences, the verb ate is standing alone and giving complete meaning. So they do not require any further object to complete their sense. That's why they both are intransitive verbs. Some more examples. We walked for hours. Sylvie sings in the bath. So here walked and sings do not require any other word or any other further object to give a complete sense. They are standing alone and capable enough to give complete meaning. So they are called intransitive verbs. We don't have to question them with what or whom to get the object. Prepositional phrases or adverbial phrases are often after an intransitive verb. Such as walking to the office. Walking is verb and to the office is prepositional phrase. The door opened slowly. Opened is the verb and slowly is the adverb. And both walking and opened are intransitive verbs. Now transitive verbs with more than one object means two objects. His father gave him a watch. First of all, gave is the verb. Him and watch both are objects, but the first one is the indirect object and the second one is the direct object. Gave is the transitive verb with two objects, direct and indirect. Similarly, my mom gave me a sweater for my birthday. So gave is the verb first of all, and me is the indirect object as well as sweater is the direct object. So me and sweater both are object of the sentence or of the verb gave. One is direct and one is indirect. Transitive verb with two objects. He told me a secret. Told is the verb, me is indirect object and secret is direct object. Mark gave the dog a bone. Gave is the verb, the dog is the indirect object and the bone is the direct object. Now students, you should remember that a verb can both be transitive and intransitive according to its use. I have eaten and I have eaten my chocolate. So the same verb can be used as transitively as well as intransitively. It depends upon the framing of the sentence that whether the verb used is transitive or intransitive. It requires an object or does not requires an object. In the first example, I have eaten, it does not need any object, but in the second example it is added an object. So with object it is transitive, without object it is intransitive, but the verb is the same. Now it's time to check your learning, students, that read the examples and find out that is the verb is transitive or intransitive. He writes on the paper, he writes a letter on the paper. When I'm talking that he writes on the paper, then the verb writes does not need any object, hence it is intransitive. But he writes a letter on the paper. Here you can ask a question with what to the verb, that what does he write? He writes a letter on the paper. So here the verb has added an object, that's why it is transitive. Again with another example, they sang in the assembly, they sang the national anthem in the assembly. The sang in the assembly is simple, intransitive verb, sang. But they sang what? What do they sang? They sang the national anthem in the assembly. So here the same verb sang is intransitively used, that's why it is intransitive. Let's take one more example. The apes played in the woods and the apes played hide and seek in the woods. So what do the apes played? They are playing hide and seek. So hide and seek is the object of the verb played, and whereas in the first example there is no object present, that's why the played in the first example is transitive and in the second example is intransitive. So students, it's time to say a goodbye to all of you. This is all in my today's class. But before ending the video, I have a short assignment for you. Here you can see 5 examples. You have to identify the verb and write whether it is transitive or intransitive. You can pause the video and do this in your English grammar notebook by yourself. I hope that the concept of verbs, its kinds, transitive and intransitive verbs are clear to you. I will be back with another new chapter. Till then, take good care of yourself and your loved ones, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.